to look at a brand new video where I talk about the Virginia early voting in the state of Virginia, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. Let's look at the data first. Currently speaking, we have 400,000 votes. As it stands today in the state of Virginia, by early voted in person and vote by mail. Again, you do see that the vote by person has been outnumbering the vote by mail, but these are all early ballots regardless. The state of Virginia is again very talked about because although it is a relatively blue state, the 2021 Virginia governor election may be super important. Not only deciding the governor's race, but most importantly deciding maybe 2022, at least some indications. So, we can dive into the data set. We're going to start by looking at the early voting type. We have already 253,000 votes in the state of Virginia that has been voted in person. There are 182,000 more mail ballot applications, meaning there should be around 330,000 votes by mail if everyone casted their ballot. The vote by mail has already had 150,000 votes. You can see that most of the time, the vote by person outnumbers the vote by mail by quite a large margin, except I believe this day and this day. So, yeah. If you look at the numbers by congressional district, it doesn't really indicate who they're voting for, but more about which district has the most votes. This spells good news for Democrats. Now, this part doesn't, because there's a lot more votes in 2020 than 2021. I know that's not a fair comparison as you compare it to 2017, and this is already the final total. However, the Democrats should have a lot of these mail-in ballots. However, this data set does show a relatively better numbers. If we look at the mail-in votes applications, the three largest circles you see is the 8th, the 11th, and the 10th districts. So let's go in the 8th, 10th, and 11th. The 8th district is one of the, I believe, is the bluest district in the state, and it has the most early votes. Now, this most applications of mail-in ballots, which should be very good as it does have 28,000 votes, and the residents there is basically going to vote Democrat at least 2-1. As it says right now, the 11th district is, I believe, the second most blue district in statewide, and it has the second most amount of mail-in votes applications. The 10th district, although a little bit better, it still has a Democratic lead of about D+13 in the 2020 House races, only trailing, except these two districts, I believe, Virginia's 3rd and Virginia's 4th. Virginia's 3rd and Virginia's 4th, if we will look at it, does not have that much votes. However, again, these no-folk areas are super important in these elections. The Fairfax, not Norfolk, so Norfolk is here, the Fairfax area. Basically, the three counties of Loudoun, Fairfax, Alexandria, Fairfax and Prince William. These areas are super important in deciding elections. If we look at the actual voting numbers, however, it does not spell in that much good news. The 11th and the 10th still has a lot of votes. The 11th, again, is this blue district, super blue district, and the 10th is this blue district. However, the other two aren't the best news for Democrats, the 7th and the 8th. The 7th, I believe, let me see, so the 7th is still pretty blue. However, the Democrats only won it in the House race by under 2 points. And the 8th, if we look at it, the 8th, okay, so the 8th is still the bluest district, but it does not give the Democrats a super large advantage as they might hope for. So, again, these are the numbers. The voted in person actually does not favor the Democrats, alright? The 11th and the 10th does not have that much votes in person. These are the two blue districts. The 1st district has the most votes, I believe. And this is a district where Democrats lost by 17 points, which should be concerning. Alright, the vote in person is pretty concerning for Democrats. Then we have the 7th and then the we have the 4th and the 7th and then the 10th. So so 4th, 7th, 5th, and then 10th. So 4th and the 7th. If we look at the House results, the 4th is a blue district, decently blue district, while the 7th is this Spamberger's district, which is the super competitive district across the state. Again, not the best results for the Democrats, but not the worst. And then finally we have, I believe, the 6th district. I'm going to look at the 6th district as well. The 6th district is this very red district. This is, I believe, one of the reddest districts in the state, and this district does have a lot of votes as well, so that may not spell out the best news for the Democrats. If we look at all the votes here, you can see that the 11th and the 10th and the 8th, I say are still above average, however, they do get diluted. I believe the largest circle is still the 8th district. Again, still a very blue district. In fact, the bluest district in the state. Then, it's the 10th district that has the most votes. Alright, the 10th district is actually an exurban district. It's not the super blue district as well. However, you do expect the Democrats to outnumber the Republicans in the votes as well. If you look at the, I want to just type in a bunch of city names. For example, Fairfax County. If we look at Fairfax County here, there is 46,000 votes early here, so we have 46,000 votes right now. Fairfax in the 2020 presidential election had a total of about 600,000 votes in the 2020 election. So this is not the highest turnout, however, it's still relatively good. But it does have these relatively similar amounts compared to 2017, which is bad because across the statewide, Democrats are outnumbering their 2017 final results by an additional, I guess, time. However, right now, it's relatively on par, which is not a good news for Democrats. It looks like that they do not have the consistent increase in votes compared to the other areas, and Fairfax County does lag behind the state of Virginia as a whole. Now we could go to Loudoun County. Also a pretty important county that will decide this race pretty significantly. This is arguably the most important county. And right now, there's 16,000 votes, 16,100 votes here. Again, this is relatively on par with the state. It's not the best. Again, it's actually dropping compared to the I guess, statewide averages. It's actually worse than Fairfax right now, so I don't think it's the best results for the Democrats as it stands today. And Loudoun do have 200,000 votes, so they do have less votes. Finally, we have right now Prince Williams County, so I'm going to search up Prince Williams County. This is also a pretty important county in the state. This is also these three counties. These are the super important counties that will decide this race. Specifically, these three counties will decide the state. If we look at it, this county relatively has better numbers. It's actually 73.7, so it's actually increased by quite a lot right now. So the Prince William should have good results for Democrats. Now, what should we take away from all of this explaining? My explanation is that the Democrats should be a little bit concerned, right? Just a little bit concerned of where they stand right now. Because if we compare it to November of 2020, yes, Democrats do have a relatively good base as well. However, it's, I'd say, relatively on par with 2020. However, what you need to take away with this is because these votes are pretty early, right? It's the early of the early vote, if you understand what I mean. So, Democrats should be doing a little bit better than this. But that's to be expected, right? Terry McAuliffe is likely going to face more challenges than Joe Biden in the state of Virginia. However, right now, the results, I'd say, are tipping towards the Republicans a little bit. As a sense, they look at these data set. just look at the data set in the 2020 presidential election, I still would say that Terry McAuliffe shouldn't really worry that much. But I do think that he is underperforming expectations just a little bit. So, again, you shouldn't really take much out of this. However, if anything, Terry McAuliffe is underperforming just a little bit compared to what I expected him to be doing. Just look at these early votes. So yes, thanks for watching today's video. Drop your like, drop your subscription. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.